Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. EJ may have run out of cards to play to keep Jude's maternity quiet, but will the truth come out before Eric leaves? We got some great character beats and name performances this week from the folks at Days of Our Lives, but the show also handed us the one tragedy that we were really hoping would be with Chanel and Johnny. Plus, we also back to some frustrating pacing issues as stories have all but faded for occasionally weeks on end, but there's always room to turn that around. All About Character Thursday was a fun, name occasion for me, and it didn't calculate on big dramatic reveals, so much as character relations. First out, I completely enjoyed Stefan's dressing down of EJ. It was nice to, rather than watch him skulk around and smugly plot, just flat out yell in EJ's face that he'd a day to get Gabby out of captivity or his house of cards would collapse. There was a fire to him, rather of the beaten canine I feel like he's been since Gabby went to captivity. And also, we eventually got a regard of Gabby. I've formerly seen folks growling, and all I can say is just stop and give her a chance. Yes, Camila Banus was in the part for a long time, but actors change on day, and I am agitated to see what Sherry Jimenez does with the part. From all suggestions, this time in captivity is going to have some lasting goods on Gabby, so this is the perfect time to get greeted with the character. And I loved everything about Xander and Nicole's talk. So much so, that it makes me sad that we didn't get to see further of these two before now, despite the fact that Xander owns the paper Nicole works at. Trading brickbats about stealing babies before coming to an understanding about each other, their mama issues and their kitties was just an awful full circle moment. And it was delightful. Plus, did anyone see Brady putting it, nearly, all together with Teresa? Anyone? At least someone eventually realized that Teresa had her hands on Victor's wallet before anyone differently. Broken People Another Name Day was Tuesday, and that Leo/Diana battle. Greg Ricard is an excellent actor, and while he does well with the breezy ridiculous stuff, he's able of so much more. And we got to see that this week, along with Judith Chapman's fantastic performance. The show is intent on keeping Leo around, so it's once time they rounded him out. Diana lunges across the caller's room table at Leo. He leans back with a compartmented-up piece of paper. Further, Diana Colville did the insolvable. You can't change his personality without changing the character, but you can make him further than just a thirsty, quippy gay man. Also, I am kind of on the hedge with Dr. Green. On the one hand, a healthy love interest would be good for Leo. But on the other, so would just a friend. He's got none. And we also got casts of Diana's own internal struggle. It was like she was forcing herself to keep being cruel to Leo, and if she could be rehabilitated down from over-the-top villain to further what she was in the 80s, I suppose she could be great addition to the oil. By Eric? The show has not let up its shower of teasing exits. Johnny just comforted Chanel that he's not leaving for California. That was sweet of her to tell him to go, but come on, Chanel, your hubby isn't leaving you after a confinement, but now we into Eric telling everyone he's leaving. The only verified exit right now, however, has been Steve Burton and Harris. Monday was most surely, authentically, his last day. Days Eric sits forlornly on a bench outside the cantina. Still, and spoilers coming week make it feel like it's passing by Friday, I wouldn't anticipate it to be for long because there's no way the maternity reveal would be without him or without bringing him back to Salem, if Eric is exiting. Speaking of that reveal, how presto is it going to be? I am trying to ripen commodity from spoilers, but I suppose Melinda will unmask the sap. She may just push EJ into giving her the DA job back, which you'd suppose would tip Paulina off that commodity super crazy is going on between her two DAs. But I guess she's a bit abstracted right now. The thing is, it can't take too long if Ariane Zucker is exiting in a month. They've got to leave time for the fallout to play out on screen. At least I hope so. Nicole chancing the Verity out and just leaving city would be jewel. There's EJ's treason to play out, her and Eric working through their passions. What's going to be to Holly if she's not in the demerrimance presently? There's a lot to get through. Worst case script, getting back to Paulina, effects turned around presto for her poor family. The alternate Johnny and Chanel lost their baby. That's a tough bone. That I am guessing came down to the strike material giving them a gestation that may not have lined up with what the regular pens wanted. I do and suppose I was alone in allowing this. Was too early to give them a baby and settle them into domestic bliss, but still. On the outside, this is an occasion to tell some inconceivable story. Chanel clinging that stuffed beast was heartbreaking. As Dr. Green said, as numerous as a quarter of gravidity end in a confinement, but it's still rough that it happened to these two. Now that Days of Our Lives is committed to this story, however, they've got to see it through and treat this loss with the care it deserves, and not just as a way to extend the rift between Chanel and Paulina, though, yeah, that kind of fresh drama is anticipated in Day. Perhaps this will prompt Paulina to step down from the mayor's office and give Abe the chance to take over. Or, if EJ's being boggled again from the DA and he's out at Demera, perhaps he'll run again. Her goose is cook, Ed, so another double marriage? Is anyone additional split on this? On the one hand, it's the perfect time and place for Teresa to be exposed by Xander's mama just before she reluctantly says I do to Alex. It just screams drama, and if it's as good as that Gwen/Xander, Craig/Leo disaster, I am going to be completely entertained. Sitting on the karaoke settee, Sarah gives Teresa a skeptical look. Between them, Bonnie looks over. Further, the real reason Sarah's hung up with Xander's mama. On the other hand, we feel to overpass to double marriages a lot on Days of Our Lives, and there's a reason Sarah was like, no thanks. These two couples can't really stand each other, and doubling up the marriage makes no sense. I'd also like to give Zara a gorgeous, real marriage and not just a vehicle for Teresa's punishment. As for Xander's mama, I am not entirely sure if the assignation is going to the right address, but Paul Telfer and Lindsay Godfrey made clear that Fiona Cook is going to show up in Salem one way or another. And that has got to be the end of Teresa. Let's get Gwen back, just as Xander and Sarah eventually get everything they ever wanted. Where's Abigail? Stay, we got Annalyn McCord's first occasion last week for just a many brief moments, and the only follow-up we got this week was Lucas and Chad musing over the footage? Arg, we back to pacing frustrations again. Jack is back. Also, what was the point of Jack's visit other than eavesdropping Chad and Julie talk over and over again? Was it just so the returning Pens could leave the time capsule on him and wash their hands of it? Or perhaps it's just to protest the Ken down the road a bit and not have to worry about making defenses. Opening a secret Horton time capsule would be perfect around Doug's farewell or the show's 60th anniversary. Slapdash studies further Days. Alum says farewell to his on-screen pater. The look as Eric eyed up Brady and Tate's fighting while eating his cutlet was pure comedy gold. It's time for Teresa to ease up on Tate and Holly. She feels more stubborn than defensive mama right now, and I can completely get behind Nicole's angry response to her hauling Holly home. Beverett's eventually back coming week, but did we really need a month of him being MIA to wrap up this story?